Hello, you guys. I'm Fabio coming back with another video. What I want like to do at this time, I think this is my first video for the New Year's 2019, January. So what I do want to start off by saying Happy New Year's. Hopefully, everybody had a safe and blessed New Year's. And what I want to talk about on this particular video, guys, is this video isn't going to be for everybody, okay? But I think it's going to be very informative. I think a lot of people could utilize some of the knowledge that I'm going to impute in you guys tonight. Um, well, first let me wait a second. I want to try to see if I could get the viewer numbers up. I would love for everybody to kind of catch this message. So we're gonna wait a minute here, and if you just join in, you have any quick questions before I get started, go ahead and throw them at me, and I'll answer them. But in the meantime, I'm gonna hang tight for a second before I really kind of get the ball rolling on the message tonight. Okay. So once again, like I say, if you're just joining me, please hang on. Or if you click off this, please come back. I think it'd be very informative information that you could utilize. Okay. Um, Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas. Got all the gifts that you wanted. Hopefully, for those that have New Year's resolutions, I'm not a really big fan of that, but if you have one, definitely try to stick to it. Most people well, statistics say most people kind of do away with their New Year's resolution within the first 30 days of making it. So, like, basically before January is out, people are really done with their resolutions. So, I'm trying to kill a little time because I really don't want to jump into the message, and then a lot of people are going to come on and say, hey, what did I miss? So, that's kind of why I'm rambling a little bit, but anyway, like I say, Happy New Year's to all. Again, if you're just joining me, I want you to go ahead and take the time and like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. What we're going to talk about on this particular video is PR Pub. Again, this may not fit for everybody, but for those individuals that want to scale their business in a unique way, I think that this will be an informative video for you guys. Okay, not sure how long it'll go, but it will be informative, I'm sure. So again, if you're just joining me, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And I'm just gonna wait a couple more seconds, or maybe a minute or so, and then I'm gonna kind of jump right into it. And whatever you guys miss, you can always play it back. So okay. If you're watching me and you have any questions about anything, feel free to go ahead and throw them at me right now. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them at me right now before I jump into my message. Okay? How's everybody holidays? How was everybody New Year's? Hopefully everybody didn't get locked up, or at least my people on my channel. Hopefully you guys didn't get locked up or have any trouble, and hopefully it was productive, right? Hopefully you were able to kind of plan or put some type of system or some type of plan together for your cleaning business startup. Okay. Well, I'm about to go ahead and jump right into it, guys. So what I want to talk about on this particular video is scaling your business through the likes of PR, public relations, pub, media, social media, whatever terminology you want to use. Okay, we're going to talk about how you can scale your business, and I think it's very, very important. I don't think a lot of people take this this part of business as serious as other marketing or advertising methods. I don't think people take social media or public relations or PR or press or media. I don't think people take that as serious. But it could be a very, very dynamic way to get your business out there. And it definitely will set your business apart. Okay, now I'm going to reference a couple celebrities or a couple names that we all may know. And I'm going to use the likes of Omarosa, okay? Hey, how's it going? R. Melendez. Okay. I'm going to use the likes of Omarosa, and I'm going to use like Kim Kardashian. And as I go along, maybe some other individuals. Here's the thing, guys. These women, let's take because they got on different ways, right? So we know that Kim K got on with a sex tape, right? And she was able to leverage that sex tape and selling the rights to it to a production company that her and Ray J got paid for. She was able to leverage that and turn it into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise or entity or business or empire, right? With the everything Kardashian, right? The Kardashian show, the Kardashian makeup, the Kardashian perfume, clothes, books, shoes, whatever the case is, right? So she was able to leverage just a small little porno tape and make billions, right? So that make a sexy headline if a person was gonna, use that. Like if she wanted to get attention or she wrote a book, she could say something like, "How to do a sex tape and make billions," right? And it would build traction like a mother, right? Just because of that type of headline, right? How to make a sex tape, or how to do a sex tape and make billions, or something along those lines. It definitely would catch my attention, right? But let's take Omarosa, okay? Again, she used the power of The Apprentice. Before The Apprentice, from my gathering of information and studying a little bit about her, right? She was already successful, right? She's intellectually sound. She was pretty educated, right? She had a lot going on. She just wasn't popular, right? She wasn't that brand, that face that we know today, right? But through, again, her work ethic, and she went a different route instead of going the porno route, right? She went through reality TV and was able to leverage that and build her personal brand. Now, how does this tie in with commercial cleaning, guys? Let's just think about it, okay? I've had my fair share of getting media attention. I'm not this big powerhouse brand, but locally, as a commercial cleaner, there's only so much you can do unless you plan on scaling it out, which is possible. It's possible to become a huge brand, social media, multimedia, cleaning guru, big person. Like it just depends on your mindset, right? Just because it haven't been done, guys, don't mean it can't be done. You just have to be the first to do it. It might be, as many of you guys that watch my videos, right? You guys watch my videos, you kind of you're entertained and this type of thing, right? But you might take something that I say and say, you know what, Fabio has a point. I think I'm going to try this. And who knows, within the next 6 months to a year, I can be purchasing your book, right? How to watch a YouTube video and make millions, right? Or how to turn the commercial cleaning company into a multimedia enterprise, or whatever the case is, right? So again, guys, like I say, you can definitely leverage the media. It's a different ways you can do it now. The old traditional ways still work, but I think the way we gather information today through the likes of the internet, videos, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, these type of platforms, I think that these is what the traditional media outlets go to, in the blogs, right? So what happens is they go to certain blogs and they hunt for great stories, right? Maybe contact the persons in those stories, pick those stories up, and then bring those person onto a national television platform to do an interview. So a person that we didn't know of, Joe Schmo in Little Rock, Arkansas, right? Person that we never heard of, become a social media darling or megastar overnight. And they're from a little town of, or some small town of, let's say, Arkansas, right? Or the city, Little Rock, Arkansas, right? So we never heard of them. They may have been doing their thing for the longest, but their story had got picked up because they were able to set themselves apart by, doing this little blog, right? this little and the blocks. And to be honest, guys, if you, by the way, if you're just joining me, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, guys. I think this will be a great help. Like I say, this won't be for everybody, but this will be for the person that thinks unconventionally like myself, right? Because and I use this a lot on my coaching calls when I do the coaching and stuff. I tell people all the time, I say, again, just because they haven't been done don't mean you can't do it. Okay, just because they haven't been done don't mean you can't do it. Okay, so the scenario that I like to use, and you guys probably heard me say this before. One second, guys. Let me see something here. Okay, sorry about that. The scenario that I like to use, and like I said, you guys probably heard me say this before, is when you're watching television, if I ask you guys, how many lawyers do you see on a consistent basis? Advertising in the media, on the radio, on social media, have sponsor ads, whatever the case is. If I ask you how many lawyers do you see in the media, you probably can give me anywhere from 3 to 5 different lawyers. I would be willing to gamble. Big lawyers, right? Big companies. So if you had an accident or you had some medical malpractice type of thing going, right, you know who you're going to call, right? Right off rip, you know who you're going to call based on these advertisements and the media, the media space that they done picked up, right? What separate that lawyer from the lawyer that's in the phone book? What separates the two? The difference is maybe financing is one thing, right? Maybe obviously one lawyer is making more than the other, but one lawyer is getting more traction via social media, via mass media, multimedia, right? Public relations, whatever you want to call it, right? One lawyer is getting a lot of traction through the media while another lawyer just sits in the phone book. Now, that doesn't mean the lawyer that sits in the phone book that's on a smaller scale isn't making money, but he can perhaps, or she can perhaps, scale her business or him scale his business if they were able to tie into, let's say, a local story that's going on in their area, via the news, television, or via the radio, or some blog site, right? That speaks on law and that, right? They can tie into something that's happening on some blog site, right? And you never know the traction that can come from that. You absolutely never know. And it's something that's really fun about that, guys. It's really fun. If you never got media attention before, when they put the camera in your face, obviously you could probably be a little nervous initially, right? You're not used to it. You might be a little shy, right? You might feel like, I don't know what I'm gonna say, I might mess up, that type of thing. Never, just be yourself. Never be worried about that, because they're gonna edit it out anyway. If it doesn't look good or sound good on audio, or look good on video, they're gonna edit it out anyway, right? So a lot of that stuff you probably wouldn't see. You understand? So, but again, so to bring this home with the commercial cleaning, and I kind of really want to target this with commercial cleaning, right? Because what separates your commercial cleaning company from the next company? There's companies that's been around since we've been born, right? You might see them, they say, been in business since 1950, right? 1955, and this and this and that, right? And that might be before a lot of us was born, right? Here it is, you're this new hotshot guy, you're coming in, you started your business, you got your cleaner business, you don't have a lot of money to go, right? But there's a hot story that's running in your local town, right? Or in your local area, your city, your small rural area, whatever the case is. All you have to do is be able to tie into a local story that's going in and get that media coverage. Especially if you're, and I think people that's in small towns have the best possible deal going, because everybody in your town, you're going to be well respected in your town. Like if you don't stay in a major metropolitan area, you know, like an Atlanta or like a Chicago or like a Milwaukee, you know, a major city, and you stay in a more small little hick town, a little maybe rural town, that type of country type of town, man, you can really clean up. You can really clean up because see, and I know this, I've stayed in a small town before. A lot of those small towns, man, have a lot of the franchise that came in and they cleaned up that business, right? And I hear it all the time. I talk to people on my coaching calls and they say, well, Fabio, I see in this town, and have you heard of this city, or you heard of this town, or whatever the case is? And a lot of times I've probably heard of the town, many times I haven't. And I say, well, have you ever thought about getting media coverage? You know, have you ever thought about tying in a story, putting together some type of gathering, some type of situation in your local area where you could pick up media coverage, right? Because it'll help your, number one, it'll help your situation. Whenever people see things in the news, on radio, they see it on the news, the news solidify everything. True or not, it solidify everything. If the news pick it up, a lot of times people think that it's real news, it's fair news, even if it's just fake news, right? There's a lot of fake news stories going on out here that people deem to be real, just because the news, the local news, picked that story up and the news is putting it out there, right? So what I'm saying is, you guys have the clear opportunity in 2019 to utilize your social media platform, to utilize your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, whatever the case is. Get hooked up with a blog that's talking about commercial cleaning, or get pitch a story to your local radio, pitch a story to your local news. And you can turn what seemed to be a very small opportunity, a very small business, and scale it up tenfold. Pick up a story, get your story picked up in your little local area, your little rural area, country town, get the story picked up, and everywhere you go in your little local section, your city, your town, people are going to start beginning to know you, right? And then you can, let's say, start up a YouTube channel, right? Build up a following, you know, talking about cleaning techniques, and you can show examples of you doing the job, or window cleaning, or whatever the case is, right? And it will help you build that visibility through not only just social media, but other media platforms. Okay? Like, it's all the time. Well, I'm not going to say all the time, but a lot of times I'm amazed of the people that come to me, like when I'm at, like, let's say Walmart, or I'm at Myers, I'm at some local place, and people say, hey, Fabio, how's it going? And I'm looking at them sideways because they know me, but I don't know them. And they say, well, you don't know me. My name is such and such on YouTube, and I'm one of your followers. I like your videos, man. I really appreciate your content, this, that, and the other. And I say, well, thank you. But I just met the person. They know who I am, but I don't know who they are, right? And that could be very well like the case for you. Like, if you guys just put together a YouTube channel, right? And you might not be the talking head. You might have your YouTube just full of doing the jobs, doing techniques. Or have your employees don't feel, your contractors don't have a problem with being recorded. You can show the techniques, how they do this and how they do that, how they use this machine, how they strip and wax floors. If you're a painter, how to do, you know, painting without messing up the place, how to lay carpet, if you know, whatever the case is. If you're a commercial cleaner, you know, your technique to doing clean, why you clean this way, right? And that would, again, all you have to do is put local New Jersey commercial cleaner, this and that on your video. And let's say, for an example, someone is looking for commercial cleaning in your local area. And let's say you in Newark, New Jersey, right? And they put in Newark, New Jersey commercial cleaners or residential cleaners. Your little video would eventually populate through the algorithm of Google, right? And depending on how much you post, the type of content that you post, eventually you'll climb up the chart, so to speak. Like, you might put the video up and it might not land on the first page of Google, right? Or you might put the video up and it might not land under the first page of Newark, New Jersey commercial cleaning, right? Billboards is another good one. Billboards, it can be costly. What I like to do is free stuff, right? I like to do stuff that It might take a little time. It might take being consistent, being a little persistent, but it will pay off big. Billboards cost you. I think the cost came down quite a bit, really, because of the likes of social media. So I don't think it's too costly as it used to be, but I do think it's still happen to be a bit costly. Okay, but I'm a big fan of that. If you can get on the billboards and you have a powerful message, keep it short, keep it brief, but make it pop, make it stand out, make people want to call your office or call your home or call your cell phone, whatever the case is, to pick you up for business, go for it. Go for it. Like I say, this video right here won't be for everybody, but it will be for the unconventional mindset. The unconventional mindset, because that's how I think. Again, you want to be able to separate yourself from other people. Just because it haven't been done in our industry don't mean it can't be done, guys. You just have to find a way to tie in, right? So if you're, for an example, now I'm kind of throwing out different things so you guys can get an idea on like how to pitch. It don't necessarily have to be a story about cleaning, right? You can pitch a story about cleaning, right? You can put together, you know, the 5 things to be aware of when you're hiring a commercial cleaning company, right? You like, that's just one thing that you can say, right? That's one angle you can go. Out of many angles you can go, that's just one angle you can go. You know, when it's time to come in spring clean homes and stuff like that, you can kind of pitch the news and say the best way to spring clean your home is, and kind of pitch that story, right? On the best way to spring clean homes, right? Window washing, window cleaning. It's a lot of different ways you guys can go with it. You understand? There's a lot of different ways you guys can go with it. But it will set you apart. Absolutely. It will set you apart. And people will remember you from the likes of these social media platforms, radio platforms, television platforms. You understand? And you will build all the traction that you will want to build. Okay? I don't know how many times I've... when I've, like, let's say for an example, I've been picked up. I haven't been picked up in a while. I haven't even really pitched in a while, but I have been on local media in my area. Okay, when I pitch a story and I get it picked up, and then I go out the next day and do some door knocking, you'll be amazed at how many people actually seeing your story, right? Because when you go out door knocking and you're saying, hey, you know, do you guys have a commercial clean? Whatever the case is, you're giving your spiel. A lot of times they be like, oh my God, was you just on the news yesterday? Like there, or was you on the news, you know, yesterday evening, whatever the case was, right? They'll remember you from yesterday's news. If you join the morning news, like small spots, does this cost them? No, it costs them time. It costs them time. Like, you know, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, guys. It's got to be crafty. It's got to be crafty. And it's got to be, when you do it, you're not doing it to sell your course or to sell your cleaning. You're going to build that visibility organically. You're going to build that visibility, right? But you want to have information that you can share with the community. Ultimately, that's what, because the news won't pick you up so you can sell your this or sell your that. Once you become a certain type of brand, for an example, once you become a certain type of brand, like Kim Kardashian or Omarosa, which is the 2 people that I used earlier, then it'll be easier for you to do it, right? Because you already have a brand. You know, it's already something that's attached to your name that the media is aware of, right? So, for an example, Omarosa just wrote a book, right? And the hot tide to that book is the fact that she spoke on Donald Trump. So she was on this whole media press run, right? This whole media run. Let's take Michelle Obama. I'm kind of jump here, right? Well, we know Michelle Obama, obviously, because of who her husband was, right? Or is, right? She's a former president. She wrote a book. She did a book tour. I'm not sure if she's still on it, but she came to our area in Detroit, sold out the arena. What I'm telling you, sold it out. You'd think it was a Michael Jackson performance. Like it was all on the local news. It was tons of traffic. She sold it out. But again, she did a press run, right? And I'm just using these people. A lot of times people might feel like they can identify with these people, but everything is similar. It all ties in, guys. It all ties in. Again, it's a lot of people that make the news that you just haven't heard about because you're not interested in certain aspects. Like it might be a guy that's going to the moon tomorrow, but if you're not into that, you probably won't even know about that story unless it comes on your local news, unless you see it on CNN. But if you're not the type that watch CNN, then you're not going to hear that story, right? But eventually you'll probably hear that story. You know, if social media pick it up, you may hear it a lot faster because of the likes of social media, how news travel through social media, right? That's why a lot of videos go viral and a lot of things happen through the likes of social media, because it's social media. People share, tag, all of this stuff, right? So you don't want to count social media out. And I don't want to just kind of get you guys hooked with the news story, with the morning news, the evening news, or radio. You do want to use social media, right? You want to have great content, valuable content, okay? Once you build a following and people start liking you, then you almost can sell popsicle sticks to them. You can almost, you know, because you have your own version of the Barbs, right? Or what they call it, the Barty Gang, I think they call it. Is that it for Cardi B? The Barty Gang. You got the Barbs, the Barty Gang. Who else? Who else got a gang out here? It's a lot of these different little, what they call it, gangs, right? But they have a following. So these people, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, they can't do no wrong in the eyes of their supporters, right? Trump people, Trump have a huge Trump gang, right? Whether he's saying something racist or whether he's saying something that's political, not political, whether he's shitting on somebody, he's built a following with himself that no matter what he says or what he does, the people that support Trump, they're going to follow his base. They're going to follow his lead, so to speak, right? Whether he right or wrong. You might not agree with what he said, but his core demographics is going to follow him because of the brand recognition he's built through the likes of the media, right? Yeah, Kylie, you know, imagine Kylie promote. Yeah, if Kylie Jenner had a cleaning company, she would damn near probably do pretty close to $1 billion overnight. Overnight. And she don't even pick up one broom, one dustpan. She don't sling not one mop. All she's going to do is put people in place. Her name is going to be all over the place. And she's going to make $1 billion with her commercial cleaning company because of her brand, right? Because that's why she does makeup. She does this. She does shoes and fashion and clothes and all of this. Whatever she does become a hot item because of the brand that she built. Now, I will say that she had it probably a lot easier because her family, where she come from, her stock, where she come from, already was powerful, right? So they can kind of put her on. So everybody don't have this type of family or this type of connection. But once again, what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, right? If you put your mind in the space that you can take your commercial cleaning business, let's just talk about locally. You can take your commercial cleaning business and you could turn it into a powerhouse locally. Just imagine how many times you can get on radio in your local area, right? Just imagine how many times you can get on the news in your local area. How many times your story can be picked up by the local newspaper, right? Just imagine of you sharing your cleaning video locally, where you're cleaning up homes or whatever. You got this residential cleaning company. You're cleaning up homes. You're doing multi-million-dollar homes. Then you find out you're doing the Pittsburgh Steelers, quarterback home, and you're doing, you're cleaning the local news anchor home or whatever the case is. I'm kind of just freeballing it here, but you guys get the drift. Once you start picking up these type of clients locally, right, in terms of business, you're cleaning the top lawyer business in your area. The guy that we see on TV, you're actually his cleaner, right? Once you start picking up these type of companies, you guys will see that through word of mouth, your business is going to grow. That's, believe it or not, that's how I have a lot of, maybe like Fortune 100 companies. I have companies that we will recognize. If I said them today, you will recognize them. You will know what those companies are. If I showed you their logo, you will recognize this company, right? That I actually clean in. I'm not a franchise. I'm just an independent commercial cleaner, small business. I'm still considered a small business, right? Now my revenues is up there, but that's through the likes, again, of putting myself out there. Putting myself out there. You get your t-shirts made. You just be something different, right? Get that visibility out there. But like I say, use the power of the press, the power of social media, right? If you don't understand social media like me, you hire maybe a SEO, somebody that kind of specializes in that, that got a net for that. They understand it a lot better than you. And then you can take your business all the way, guys. Now, I understand a lot of people may not be like a Fabio, or they might want to be the face of something. I get it. Geico, let's take that, right? They use this little lizard that we all see on the commercial. Flo, let's take her, right? Progressive Insurance. They use her little wacky style and this and this. Now she's became the face of Progressive. So she's actually a celebrity, right? She actually, people hire her. She does speaking engagements and stuff like that. She does different things outside of Progressive, right? I'm sure she's still under that contract, but she's like the face of it. But she doesn't own Progressive, right? She doesn't own the insurance. So the top head honcho that pays her, right, to be the face of this stuff, and the Geico, where they use this lizard and whoever does the voiceover and the animated to make it what we see on TV today, we know this lizard isn't the owner of Geico Insurance. There's somebody at the top that had this brilliant idea to use this lizard in the most animated way, do a voiceover, and bam, when we think of Geico, we think of that little lizard. When we think of Progressive Insurance, we think of that wacky lady named Flo, right? That's just goofy as all out hell, right? We think of that. So you don't necessarily have to be the face of it. You can hire an outside talent, right? Or a talking head to be the face of your company. But you have to have something different, okay? You have to have something different. Now, there's a difference than paid media advertising and public relations. Paid advertising is if you do a commercial, right? You get a production company, you put a video visual together, and then you go ahead and submit this to your local news station. Okay, for them to run that advertisement, you have to pay them for that, right? For them to run that advertisement, you have to pay them for that. And depending on where you fall time-wise in the slots, depending on where you fall would dictate how much you pay. You know, if you're prime time, if you're early morning, usually time frames between court shows, it's pretty expensive, right? If you do like late night through the infomercial hours, you know, your 1, your 2 a.m., your costs will be a lot lower, even with radio ads, right? I've done radio ads before. They're a lot lower when there's basically not a lot of people listening to the radio, right? So your late hours, you can get a real good price deal. The only thing is you don't get those listeners, right, that you would normally hear at 10 a.m. or lunchtime, noon, or 1 p.m. You don't get those listeners, okay? Now, you get those listeners, you're reaching more listeners, you're going to pay more money because you're reaching more ears, right? Now, you might get lucky where you can get a small position in the section on television for X amount of dollars where you kind of luck up. Or you hire a media buying service where, and I'm coming back to public relations, I'm trying to get it where you guys can understand it from these perspectives, because a lot of times people think that it's all one thing and it's not, right? So when you do a commercial, obviously, you know that's paid advertising, someone to pay for that. When you get picked up on the news, you just pitch the story and they picked your story up. You didn't pay for that. Now, the only way you could pay for that is if you hired a publicist, right? If you did it in-house yourself, you pitched the story. When they called you, no one picked up the story, they spoke to you, right? Or they spoke to your assistant and your assistant gave the information to you, right? That didn't cost you anything. You just pitched the story. They wanted to pick your story up. They liked what you were talking about. So they picked your story up. It didn't cost you anything but time, okay? So, and that goes back where I was talking about on other videos, guys. It's going to either cost you time to do something, or it's going to cost you money to do something. Okay, either or, you're going to pay one way or another, right? So, and I would normally probably take the lesser of the two, which is be time. My cleaning business was built on time, right? It was built on time because I didn't have a whole hell of a lot of money to start with, right? So I went knocked doors. You guys know my story already, right? I went knocked doors until I eventually got a contract, right? But it took time. Now, if I hired somebody that might have specialized in door-to-door, sales transactions and things like that, I might have kind of grew a lot faster, right? Because these are they kind of know what to say, this type of thing, right? They've done this before, whereas I never done it. I kind of learned as I went along. So again, guys, this is all tying in. Again, this is a way that, hey, how's it going, Ozzy? This is a way, Happy New Year's, Professional Window. This is a way that you guys can pick up traction in your local area. Don't let people in your area shun you away from media. And don't say, well, I don't look this way, because again, we all have these complexes, right? I don't look this way. I don't feel like I'm attractive enough. I don't feel like I'm believable enough. I don't feel like I have this. I don't feel like I have that. I'm not well established. No one ever heard of me. All of these are just excuses to not put yourself out there. Get the visibility. Okay? And I tell people this all the time, even with my person, Darnella. I like to refer to her, from time to time. That was a person, again, she's in Chicago. She started up, man, when she was like 24-ish or something like that. She came, follow me on YouTube. I believe she probably barely watched me. And I told her, I said, Darnella, have you ever thought about doing a news? She said, oh, Fabio, I'm incredibly shy. I'm shy. And I was like, well, let's just give it a shot. I can help you. I know about media and getting coverage and things like that. Let's just give it a shot. So we give it a shot, and true enough, she got picked up. She got picked up. She said she was nervous as hell going to the news station in her local area in Chicago or wherever it was that she went, right? She was nervous as hell, but she got picked up. And then I told her exactly what to do the next day. I say, well, why don't you go out and knock some doors? Because I've done that before. You get picked up on the news, right? And then you go out, you knock some doors, okay? And somebody's going to notice you. Right? These businesses have TVs, flat screens, different things these days, right? Your local dentist's office, your local doctor's office, they're watching the news, and so a lot of times they recognize you. And sure enough, that's what happened. Right? Now, she's not this big media mogul. She's not really big on the media, but it definitely, I would suggest, helped her grow her business. Now she does hotels, and I don't even have a hotel, right? She moved from Chicago. She went through my lead generation. She ordered paperwork from me. She did all of this stuff. She did all of this stuff. I see you, Ozzy. I'm going to come back to you. She did all of this stuff with me and just took a chance in me. And I'm like, let's give it a shot. Let's do some media stuff. And like I said, she got picked up and scaled her business. Right now, she's out in Miami now. She doesn't stay in Chicago no more. But again, that's a great little story. But it worked for her in her area, whereas she was even the television type of person. She wasn't even the media type of person, right? But all it takes is for you to, put yourself out there, be creative, come up with something different, do something different, right? You don't have to do things the conventional way, because I tell people, once you do things the conventional way, you're going to get conventional pay. Once you start doing things the conventional way, you're going to get the conventional pay. Once you start thinking outside of the box, you're going to get outside of the box money, right? You're going to build your business on a whole different level, right? You're going to be the envy of the cleaning business in your area, right? You're going to be the envy of that, right? Because people are like, well, how were you able to get on the news? And what's so special about you that you were able to get on the radio? And how are you making this social media, splash or whatever the case is, and I can't do it? It's not about that. It's the fact that you just had an idea, you pitched it, you believed in it, and you just kept at it. and just kept at it until somebody picked your story up. You might have tweaked it here and there, but you kept at it, and then eventually you got picked up. So again, guys, that's why I say you definitely want to use the likes of social media. You definitely want to use the likes of radio, use the likes of the news, any, multimedia outlet. Billboards, again, billboards fall in the realm of like television advertisers, is paid advertising. So you're gonna pay for them to put the billboard up, right? I just like to stay with the multimedia, with the media side of things, right? Because this is gonna take time, and the only way it's gonna take money is if you hire a publicist, right? You hire someone to do this, you're gonna have to pay them for their service. And then the service isn't guaranteed. Like, there's no service that's guaranteed, right? So you're gonna pay them with the hope of them being able to pick you up, or get you picked up in the media. Okay, now depending on who you go through, the fees might be a lot higher, but they might have a connection with different news anchors and production people and executive producers and things like that, right? So they might have a better chance of getting you on the radio or getting you on the news, because through their agency, their public relations firm, they were able to build a relationship with certain executive producers for radio, executive producers for news, where through that relationship, they're able to get their client picked up on a story. Okay, so sometimes that happens, right? But it's still, you're still going to have to pay for the service, right? You're going to have to pay for them to do the press release. You're going to have to pay for them to pitch it, right? And a lot of this stuff can be picked up straight off the internet, right? You can just have something compelling, get a lot of your friends to share it, have their friends share it, have their friends share it, right? And then it's going to kind of spread out a little bit. What started to be a small little thing now became a massive hit through the likes of Facebook or Instagram or your LinkedIn or your Twitter. People retag this and reshare that, right? You do a good job at the cleaning. You put your flyer up. You have the way the let's say the carpet look before you clean it. You have the way the carpet look after you clean it. People share it, and it grows like wildfire. So everybody on your social media, on your Facebook, right, that's friends of yours and friends of your friend, want to know, wait, who did that? Who did that? So everybody is sharing your poster around with your number, your company name on it, everything like that. Boom, you just built this domino effect. You understand? So that's kind of how it works. Or you can also ask your friends, hey, if somebody just say that you referred them, once we pick this up, I'll give you a kickback for it, right? You can go so deep with that. You can kind of give a kickback because somebody say, well, I seen this on Annie Lou page or Johnny Smith page, right? And you say, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with Annie Lou or Johnny Smith, right? And then you kind of give them a little kickback, and then that'll make them want to do more and more for you, right? So again, guys, like I say, you have to be creative. You want to be creative. Like I say, this wasn't going to be my most popular video because people are just not into the media like that. But we all use social media. So if you're going to have your phones in your hands anyway, you're going to be using your phones, why not be posting your flyers up, right? Posting your flyers up on Facebook, posting your flyers up on Instagram, right? Be engaging. A lot of people, they don't engage with people. I'm very engaging on my Facebook or on my social media platforms. And I try to do the same thing with the videos. You got some people that's too big for their britches, right? They got way more followers, this and this and that. They have these huge podcasts and this and this, right? And then they don't respond back to comments, or they don't respond back to emails, or they don't respond back to, whatever. So when you don't respond back, people aren't compelled to really do business with you, right? Because they like, this person can't even answer my question, right? Now, I'll be first to admit that I'm probably a lot slower than many, right? But eventually I do get back. Sometimes it takes people 2 or 3 times to get a hold to me, like in terms of emailing me or they leave a comment or, whatever the case is, right? It takes, 2 or 3 times before I even see it or even hear about it, right? Because I just be so busy in other things. But by me just acknowledging a person's let's say, comment, right? That make it, I like Fabio, right? Because, you know, I mean, he's busy or whatever the case is, and he didn't have to answer my comment, but he's seen it and he answered my comment. So they grow to like it based on that interaction, guys. That's kind of the way it worked. So I'm just letting you guys know. So if you're kind of bougie and you feel a certain way because you started a cleaning business, but you're not making the revenue that you want to make, maybe you need to be a little bit more proactive. Jump in their messenger and share certain things with them and say, hey, if you post this flyer and they say they seen it on your page, hey, I'll give you a little kickback from it, right? Just for posting it, or see if you can post it and share it and then have your friends share it, right? That's how you pick up traction. That's how you pick up speed, guys. And before long, people across Facebook in your local area is going to know you as that carpet guy, that window cleaning guy, right? They're going to know you as that commercial cleaning guy, that residential cleaning guy, that gutter cleaning guy, that power washing guy, right? Whatever it is you do, right? Well, I'm just kind of using the cleaning realm of things, but whatever you do, you're going to be known for that. And it costs you anything but time, right? And interaction with your peers, your Facebook friends. You understand? So again, guys, it's very, 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 this is 2019. You want to do something different, especially for those that don't have a lot of money. So don't think, oh, I don't have a lot of money or I don't have any money, so I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not going to be able to get on the news. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, right? You can tie into a local story that's already happening in your area. I don't know where you guys at. You might be in Tampa, you might be in Miami right now, right? They might have this big thing that's going on in your area. You can do community service in your area. You know, the kids drive and this drive, and the next thing you know, contact the press, let them know you're doing the kids drive, and they're gonna be like, yes, we have Sherry Smith of Sherry Mates Cleaning Service doing the local school drive or local kids drive for the holidays or whatever the case is, right? So they just plugged your name, they plugged your company, said, right, because Sherry's Cleaning Maids or Sherry Maid Cleaning Service or whatever the case is, right? They put it on the news, they plugged that, or it was on the radio. Yeah, come on out, we got Sherry Cleaning Service, you know, whatever. Meet us here at the school. We're doing a local kids drive and this and this and that, and we're gonna have some fun games. And this is something may take time, guys. I'm not saying that this is something you gotta rush and do, but it's something definitely possible. It's a different angle. So where there's not news, you make news, okay? You can put together this thing every year. You know, people do the turkey drive for Thanksgiving, right? They do this thing every year. So they get that pub every year. That's something that they did one time, whether they paid for the press or whether it was in-house. They pitched the story themselves. The news picked it up. The radio picked it up. And then through the course of the year, they're going to piggyback off that and make money off of just that one little event that they did, right? People are going to do business with them, right? So again, that's how it works. That's how it works. Then you can take one story, link it to another story, and build up. And before long, you got all of these different stories in your local area, whether it's via radio, via social media, via television, right? And then with the revenue dollars that you make from that, you can go into paid advertising. You can do a billboard at this time, right? You can do a local television spot, right? You can do maybe a cable access where you have your own 30-minute infomercial program on cable access, right? And then once you get the people knowing about, because every area you has cable access, right? You can, where you pay for this little 30-minute spot, it look kind of cheesy looking, but, right? But people pay attention to it. And you might be able, if you're into stocks, and that's what you do, you can have your own little cable access show where you talk about stocks, right? And then you might write a little book or ebook, that type of thing, right? You advertise it on your cable access, bam. So now you're generating that visibility. So when people see you, they're gonna be like, hey, you're that guy that be on local access. You do the stocks, right? Man, what's the best stocks to go in, man? What's the best stock? Then you can get him to buy your ebook. Hey, man, I talk a lot about that, and the best thing to do here, once you check out the ebook, it's only $9.99, whatever the case is, right? And that's how you grow it. The same thing with your commercial cleaning business. You might write a short little ebook or a little pamphlet or whatever the case, based on your ideas, your philosophies, your what how you came in the game. That you might be the type that you concentrate more on clean green clean, right? There's a lot of people environmental cleaning, green clean, they focus on that part, right? So once you educate yourself on that and you learn more about it, you'll be able to share that information, put it into a book like format, right? It don't have to be a long big binder book, right? You can do just a short 100-page ebook, 80-page ebook, right? It's not about how many pages it is, it's about the information on the pages, right? So again, guys, I could kind of keep talking about this and kind of get this where you guys can understand me, have this thing going in a lot of different directions. Again, guys, make sure in 2019 that you at least consider multimedia or PR, public relations, press, right? Just try it out a little bit, right? Whether you're using social media, radio, television, whatever format you use is entirely up to you, but give it a shot. Give it a shot. You don't know if you're going to hit if you don't give it a shot. If you got a flyer, right? You like your flyer, you have an irresistible offer on there, post your flyer up on your Facebook page, right? And then you share it. You know how you click on tag people in it, right? So once you tag people in it, then their friends are going to see it, right? And then you have those people you say, hey guys, I appreciate it if you guys share. That's how a lot of videos go viral. So we share a lot of other people videos. I know I share people videos that I don't even know. I don't even know these people. I thought the video was wacky. It was a little funny, right? I shared the video. They pick up the traction through my friends. Then my friends share that video. And then they pick up the traction through their friends. And then their friends show that video. You guys get where I'm going? And it was just a video that I shared that I thought was funny, right? I don't know this person. Somebody else might have shared it, and that's how I seen it, through one of my other friends. And then I seen the video, and then I shared it, right? And then my friends seen it on my page, and then they shared it, right? And that's how it goes. Things go viral. That's how things happen, right? And at the end of the day, it all comes back to that person because they didn't want to get their name on the video. Right? They got their Instagram logo that, at this and this and that, at this on Twitter, at this on Facebook. They don't want to get their name on that particular video, right? So again, guys, like I say, whether you're using social media, whether you're using the likes of television, the likes of radio, please give it some consideration. Okay, give it some consideration. I'm ready to open up to answer any questions you guys have. You can always hit me up at bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. I'm off on a fast pace this year, 2019, so it's a lot of things that I'm working on. So if you don't get discouraged if I don't get right back. I promise I will get right back. Let me see if I have any questions here. I was told to use Home Advisor Pro. Well, do some research on it and let me know how it works out. Again, I wouldn't tell you who to use or what not to use. I'm not a big fan of using it or dealing with the Home Advisor, but I wouldn't tell nobody not to. Let me see here. I always drop my business cards at the restaurant. Yeah, business cards at the restaurant, that's kind of blah. I'm not necessarily sure that yield the intention that the results that you're looking for, right? Because depending on the type of business you have to think, are your people going to be at that restaurant? If you're targeting homeowners, maybe yeah, right? But then it depends on the type of restaurant, right? Sometimes you leave stuff at stores, restaurants, etc., and then their management see it or their personnel see it and they throw it out, right? So the people that you wanted to see the card never really sees the card. I used to do that early on, and then I stopped. I stopped because I wasn't getting attraction, so I was assuming that my stuff was being thrown away. So the only way you kind of get my business card now, if I hand it off hand in hand, that type of thing. I don't leave it lingering out no more. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, the influencers, Imagine Kylie. Yep, we talked about Kylie. Let me see here. I see a lot more business been featured on the morning news. Yeah, and you're does this cost them? Nope. It doesn't cost them unless they have a PR firm. Then it costs them, right? It costs them for the PR firm to go ahead and pitch the story. But if they did it in-house, it didn't cost them anything but time, right? But you're going to continue to see more small businesses and more, just independent business personnel and personalities. You're going to see more of that on the news. And it's only going to get bigger. Like, it's going to go from a local news standpoint to a national news standpoint, just depending on how their story is or what type of story that they have. Okay. Ever use billboards? Yep, I used billboards before. It didn't yield the results that I wanted, but I do have faith that they work. Let me see. I emailed you from last time. Okay. What did you email me? What was it about? You guys have any questions for me? If it could be on cleaning or just using the media, dealing with the media. I'm pretty knowledgeable about it. I don't like to talk a lot about the media aspect of it, but I'm a very, very big fan of it, guys. I'm a very, very big fan of it because it can definitely help propel your business. I still think of the likes of Darnella, right? She was on her last leg. She was going through a temp agency. Just to kind of brush you guys about her story. She was going through a temp agency. She had like a young son. She was in a one-bedroom apartment, and then she got fired. If you go and watch some of my older videos, you'll hear me talk a lot about her. I'm like, Darnella, you should try this or try that. And I was able to get her to try just pitching the story, right? We came up with different angles and different ways to go with it. I talked to her. She paid me for the service, and I was able to get her to pick up, right? By just putting the story together. Here, I'm out here. She's in Illinois, and boom. We were able to make it work. She got picked up in her local area, right? Went out door knocking the next day. I told her what was going to happen, and it happened. She didn't get every business that door that she knocked on. But once again, what happens on the news, people seem to think is credibility, or it gives you credibility, even if you're not a credible person, even if it's wrong, it gives you credibility, right? Even fake news give people credibility because there's always going to be people out there that believe what you say, no matter what, whether it's fake news or whether it's just legitimate news, right? So when she got that picked up, she was able to get some contracts off, which allow her to make some money, right? And allow her to make some money. And then that helped her confidence level. It helps your confidence level. When people kind of know who you are, there's a certain level of paranoia to it. Trust me. Please believe me. But outside of that, when people kind of know who you are, people treat you different, right? Your family treats you different. If you become on the news and you become this like rock star in your area, right? You're on the news, you're on the radio. Again, every little thing, your family is going to come and ask you, yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah, that's my aunt. That's my uncle, right? Yeah, my that business, yeah, you was talking about that clinic. Right, guess what? That's my uncle. Yeah, like I could call him right now. Like that's how people are going to react to you. You're going to be like this local celebrity, this local personality, but you're not doing it for the celebrity's sake. That's just a byproduct of it, right? You're doing it for the visibility's sake, right? To ultimately be able to pick up more contracts in your area, as the lawyers do with, with their law firms, right? They're like local celebrities. They might not be known like the movie stars, but they celebrities in their own right locally. That's why when you get hit by a bus or you trip and fall over this or you fall down the stairs, that's why you call this big time lawyer and pitch them your case opposed to some little lawyer you found on Google or in the Yellow Pages. Why don't you go to Google or the Yellow Pages? You already know if you get hit by a bus or your car get wrecked or this happened or that happened. You kind of know based on these advertisements and the media attention that these lawyers get, you know who you're going to call. And the lawyers, especially in my area, and it got to the point where they sponsor a lot of things. Like they had sponsored the Detroit Pistons or the Detroit Red Wings. They'd be sponsored. You pay for sponsors. So during intermission time or during the course of the game, they'd be like, sponsored by this law firm, law, it's this and this practice, right? And that's it. That's what helps bring visibility to them. They pay for that sponsorship, and that's why they kind of got that shout out through this national or through this big thing in the local area, right? So again, that's just kind of how it works, guys. Just look into it. Look into it. It doesn't hurt to look into it. If it's not for you, again, that don't mean you can't do it. You can just find a talking head, somebody that's comfortable being the face person for that particular story, whatever it is you're trying to pitch, right? And then you can continue to use that person, right? So again, I just kind of want to help you guys out. I think that's a phenomenal way to build traction for your business. There was a letter I received. There's a letter that I received from the restaurant. Okay. Is it something you want to talk about here, or is it something that you prefer me just to take a look at? Maybe if it's something you don't mind talking about here, maybe I can help you out here. Let's see. Happy New Year. All is well. All is well. Let me see here. Again, guys, like I say, just kind of look into it, man. At the end of the day, scaling your business through the likes of public relations or multimedia or media could be the difference between night and day. Like I said with Darnella, I kind of not forced her, but I kind of like encouraged her to give it a shot. And again, she built her business up so quickly. I mean, she actually had top chain hotels that she cleaned in Chicago in her area, right? She left Chicago, she moved down to Miami, and her business is, she's running on, obviously she's running on autopilot in Illinois, right? She moved to Miami, again, wanted to have the same type of structure that I had, the same type of thing. The only thing is I don't have any hotels, right? She has hotels, I don't have not one hotel. So that was her thinking outside of the box. Again, I always told her, think outside of the box. She bought my paperwork, which she still uses to this day. I talk to her every so often, not too often. I don't even think she really get a chance to watch my YouTube videos anymore. But I was glad to see her go from her last leg, right, working for a temp company, a temp service that fired her right before she can get hired as a full-time employee there, to being a regular viewer of mine and say, you know what, I'm about to just take a chance with Fabio. She took a chance with me, went through my lead generation, was able to get clients. That was one way that she did it. And then I talked her into doing, getting some media stuff, and she did that. So again, guys, you have to think creative. You have to think outside of the box, and you definitely want to be unconventional. You definitely want to be unconventional. Again, when you do things the conventional way, you get the conventional pay. When you do things unconventionally, you get unconventional pay, right? So again, let me see here. I'd rather you look at it to see for your thoughts. Okay. Do me a favor, because I get so many emails. What I'm gonna do is look forward to it, Ozzy. If it's something, and send your number with it. If you're up tonight, I'll give you a call tonight, and we could talk about it and see whatever it's about. I'll give you a call tonight. We can definitely chop it up. If it's not too late, I don't mind calling yet. It's about 2. I'm about to bring this home in a minute anyway, the video. So if you want to email it, and if you want to chop it up with me tonight, I'll give you a call, give you my perspective on it. I'm always trying to look out for you. You ordered from me and bought things and stuff like that. So I want to see you win with this here. You guys have any more questions? I knew this wasn't going to be one of my most popular videos, but I do think when my subscribers do see this, I do think that they deem and find this to be very valuable information. Because a lot of I'm probably about the only YouTuber guy that would kind of think this way as it relates to the commercial cleaning business, because it's something different. It's something that'll set you apart from everybody else. See, everybody else not doing this. Again, if I ask you how many lawyers you see on TV in your local area, or in the media in your local area, you probably could give me anywhere between 3 to 5 people. But if I turn around and ask you how many commercial cleaning companies, how many residential cleaning companies you see in the media, you probably couldn't give me one, right? Why is that? Because traditionally, this is not a way that commercial cleaning companies operate, right? Traditionally, they use the old methods that we talk about all the time, door to door, sending out flyers, this and that, right? They use those methods. And while those methods do work, just imagine you being the first one. You being the first one in whatever town, USA, right? You being the first one to get a little media attention, right? To putting together a little coat drive or this type of drive or a little homeless drive where you feed the homeless, right? And they're gonna have your name all over the place with this stuff. You put plates together, you get some partners, somebody that can help you execute on this type of thing, right? Then you pitch the media. The media is gonna show up to things like that, right? Because it's helping the general community. So the media love community events, right? So if you can get a community event, they're gonna say, yes, we have Amanda Smith with Amanda's Cleaning Services here. Amanda, what made you decide to put this drive together? What made you decide to help the homeless out? Why do something like this? And then now you get the picture, what made you do that, right? Obviously, you're not going to say because I have a cleaning business, right? Hope you don't say that. That's not a good look. But you're going to say I have a generally, appreciation for people, for humanity, right? I always wanted to help people, and since it's so many homeless people in my general area, or just people that's struggling right now, at the very least, that this is what I could do. I know I can't help everybody, but this is a start, and I tend to just grow this thing year after year. I tend to do this once a year, maybe a couple times if I can pick up speed and get sponsors and people, however you decide to kind of talk it out, right, on your little story, right? And then you take that clip and you put that clip on your Facebook page and have everybody share that, and before long that little clip then went viral in your local area. You guys, you see what I'm saying? You take that one little news clip and you post it on your Facebook with you on the news, right? Hey guys, you tag one, check this out, check my story out, right? And then your family is going to share it. Your boyfriend is going to share it. Your girlfriend's going to share it. Your wife is going to share it, right? So all of the people that they work with is going to see it. Awesome story, Erica. That was great. That was an awesome story. That's the power of the media, man. That's the power of the media, right? And at the end of the day, they know what you did, because at the top of the story, they said Amanda with the Amanda Cleaning Service, right? So if they needed a cleaning service or they needed a residential cleaning service, they already know to contact you. You have a great reputation with the community, obviously, right? According to your story, you have all love for humanity, right? So again, guys, you have to be creative, and this is a way that you can be creative, right? And it doesn't cost a lot of money, right? To do this, it might cost time. Again, the only way it's going to really cost you money is if you're hiring an agency. Outside of that, it might cost time, being relentless, calling back, getting a hold to the right person that will handle your story. Depending on the time of the day, they have different producers. They got morning producers, evening producers, depending on what section you're trying to pitch the story at. Same thing for the radio. The executive producers, who would you speak to? What personality person on the radio would you speak to in your local, right? So again, it might be, it's not going to be an easy thing, but it'll be worth it if you can get the attention or the visibility. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, you guys have any more questions? I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I won't take too much more of you guys' time. If you have any questions, again, if you need me for any, let's say, coaching or anything of that sort, you can hit me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's totally up to you guys, but I'm definitely here to answer your questions if you have any. And it doesn't have to necessarily be pertaining to the media and scaling your business through PR. It could be, you know, just perhaps stuff we didn't cover before. Let's see here. And if you guys, there's a book that I would suggest you guys go and get if you want to get a book. I got mine through the bookstore, but you can get it on Amazon. It's not a really expensive book. The author, I can't pronounce his name, but the book is called The Kardashian Principle. It's called The Kardashian Principle. Tomorrow will be good. Okay, okay. Well, if you send it tonight, I will personally look for it, Ozzy. And in the email, just let me know the best time to call you tomorrow, and I'll definitely call you tomorrow. Put the time in there. Don't forget to put your number in there, and I'll definitely call you tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. But I would suggest that you probably send it tonight while I'm kind of looking for it. Okay. But yeah, it's called The Kardashian Principle, guys. You look that book up. Like I say, it's a quick read. It's not a long book. And then they give you a lot of, I guess, the Kardashian principles, so to speak. But it's valuable information when trying to build your brand, leverage yourself, your personal brand, along with your business. So I think it's a good book. Okay. You guys have any more questions? Okay. Well, I guess not. Well, that's going to do it for now, guys. I'm Fabio Hart, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and really making it to the top is you. It's 2019. Let's kick ass this year. Again, if you guys need me, book FabioHart@gmail.com 24/7. You can email me, book FabioHart@gmail.com. That's all one word. So let me know if you need me for whatever. If you need the coaching, or you have a question, you want me to take a look at your flyers like Ozzy, or your contracts or your agreement or scripts or whatever the case is. You just send it over to me. I'll take a look at it. I'll let you know where you need to add this at, or where you need to add that at, or why you should take this out, or what I would add in, or whatever the case is. I would do my best to help you guys out. I really want to see you guys win. If you know that you've been dragging yourself and you haven't been executing on things, dig deep, guys. We're in the first quarter. Dig deep. Say, hey, I really want to go ahead and start this cleaning business. I really want to get this thing going. What can I do today to assure my success for tomorrow? What could I do today? Right? Don't worry about what you can't do. Just execute on what you can do. Don't worry about what you can't do. If you can't do it right now, that don't mean you won't ever be able to do it. That just means right now it's not possible for you to do it. You can't do it right now. But whatever you can do, go ahead and execute on that, guys. Okay? That's how I get my contracts, through execution. That's exactly how I get my accounts, through execution. I go after, whether it's a small account or a bigger account, I go after it. I use the same type of technique, right? I'm the same type of individual, right? And I suggest that you guys do the exact same thing. Be courteous, be polite. Don't be too pitchy. Don't be, trying to knock out the competition. Even though that's the goal, you don't want to be disrespectful behind it, because that'll leave a bad taste on that possible client that you're trying to go after. That'll leave a bad taste on their tongue, right? So it's a way that you can be aggressive and ferocious, and and really hard hitting about it, and still be polite and professional. Okay. But once again, if you guys need any help, you need any coaching, book FabioHart@gmail.com.